As a fan of Migos, you surely must know more than one interesting fact about the band or some of its members. No doubt you know they're familiar and that Drake made the mix that made them famous. But there's always something to learn, and in this case, we bring you 10 fun facts about the band leader Quavo. We dare you to tell us in the comments about how many of these curious facts you knew about this rapper. Number 10. Quavo doesn't like his mother sharing his pictures as a child. If you're famous, nothing can take away your mother's pride in what you've accomplished. And even if you don't know it, she's probably talking about you all the time with her neighbors, friends, and the people who cross her path. That was quite manageable in the past, usually just your neighborhood growing up. But today, in the age of the online social media, nobody gets a free pass. So Quavo's mother, Edna Marshall, is no longer content to show her son's photos of him as a child to the hairdresser, but she posts them on Instagram, to the shame of her son. It was actually just a photo of the half-naked young Marshall, which Quavo himself later showed on his profile and provoked the laughter of his fans, who mocked him in a rather friendly tone. Anyway, the singer said that it could have been much worse, and minimized the fact. Although we suppose he must have had an interesting conversation with his mother inside. Number 9. Quavo gave his mom a Jeep for her birthday. And as if he hadn't shown enough that he doesn't hold grudges against his mother, the 29-year-old rapper had to draw a smile on her face with a really funny present for her birthday. Quavo surprised his mother with a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon and documented the great revelation on Instagram. "I will always reward you for your greatness. Your only son, Quavo," he said on Instagram in a series of videos and photos that show the emotion of his mother. In one of them, Edna Marshall screams as she sees the new ride while Stevie Wonder's Happy Birthday comes out of the speakers. A Rubicon Jeep is priced at $39,000. But don't think this is the first time the rapper has considered his mother's taste in wheels. Last year, he gave her a brand new Range Rover. If he continues with that range of gifts, he will have to think about buying her a garage. Number 8. He is a very good basketball player. In 2018, in a very special match held every year, Justin Bieber and Quavo came face to face. Justin is a very good player, but Quavo proved that he is not only good, but much better than his colleague. A new NBA 2018 All-Star Celebrity Game was held that year in Los Angeles and was a game between young players from the United States and those from the rest of the world, who took the internationals. The game was notable for the blocks, steals, and baskets that Quavo scored over Bieber. Quavo ended up as MVP with 19 points. His team, the Clippers, ended up taking the game to Bieber of the Lakers. Having dropped out of school a few months before graduation and demonstrating his athletic talent at the 2018 NBA All-Star Game, Quavo also showed off his athletic ability during a celebrity flag football game over the weekend, where he captured other rappers like Lil Yachty and 21 Savage. Did you know about his talent with the ball in the hoop? Number 7. He also played football. In that same year that Migos was formed, Quavo was still playing football in high school and had a promising future in the world of sports. During his senior year at Berkmer High School, Quavo's coach praised his ability as a starting quarterback and went on to hold the record for the most passes in a game, 28 in a single encounter. "Run with that sack, call me Booby," Quavo raps on Bad and Bougie, his trio Migos Billboard Hot 100 chart topper. But as his high school classmates know, the rapper actually has more in common with Friday Night Lights quarterback Mike Winchell. Back when he was known as Quavis Marshall, the now 26-year-old MC was the starting quarterback for Berkmer High School, in which he attended with bandmate Offset, then Kiari Kendrell Cephas. Fans recently got a glimpse of his gridiron prowess when a behind-the-scenes video from a Champ Sports spot showing Quavo throwing a football through a basketball hoop a few dozen yards away went viral. To his high school teammates, though, his trick shot came as no surprise. "I'm almost certain he did that on the first try. He would do that at practice, too. Throwing the ball into the trash can, those kinds of things. He always had a strong arm. If he'd stuck with it, he might have gone somewhere," said Troy Davis, who now plays defensive end for the CFL Toronto Argonauts. His former coach John Thompson isn't quite as optimistic about Marshall's prospects, but the rapper was promising enough to go from backup to starter during his tenure. If you looked at him back then, he had some height on him. Marshall is 6'1", but he didn't have a lot of meat on his bones. The Gwinnett Daily Post called him spindly, Thompson tells, but he was a competitor and a good football player, even led the county in passing yards and set game records for completions that year. I don't think people expected that from him. Even if he got out of the pocket, he would always keep his eyes downfield. I think he liked throwing the deep ball. When he got rushed, we'd be like, "Run for the first down," and he'd end up throwing it for 40 yards, Davis adds. Despite his talent on the field and being a prominent sports star, Quavo decided to leave the institution before graduation to devote himself entirely to music. By that time, Migos already existed. Number 6. He has had problems with the authorities. In 2015, Quavo was arrested along with his fellow Migos members for possession of illegal substances and firearms. He was released after posting bail. His sentence was suspended and he paid several fines instead. Most fans already know that every member of Migos was arrested during a concert in April 2015, charged with possession of narcotics and firearms. Most of these charges were dropped, and Quavo ended up paying a fine for marijuana possession, but Offset spent 8 months in prison. Since then, Quavo has also been accused of robbing a famous jeweler named Eric the Jeweler at a post-Grammy party, but it turns out the Migos star is more embarrassed about a crime he admits to committing on the day he was alone. Although he could have paid for them, Quavo decided to steal the $12 socks from Macy's to prove he was hot, but has since admitted that he regrets the crime. Rappers' problems with the law are not something that surprises us, but we had to mention them on this list. Number 5. He is also an actor. During his acceptance speech at the 2017 Golden Globes, Donald Glover thanked Migos for recording the song Bad and Bougie, which he described as the best song ever. It's no coincidence that Glover is thinking of Migos right now since Quavo appeared on his Atlanta show in the Season 1 episode, Go for Broke. The young star could have acted in the show, but Quavo still managed to steal every scene, in which he encounters a surprisingly impressive comic moment. While rap is still his first love, Quavo has begun writing a movie script for Migos to star in, and the trio also tried to play the Hyena Trio for the Disney remake of The Lion King. We know this didn't finally happen, but who's to say that Quavo's path in Hollywood hasn't just begun? Number 4. He was named the most influential rapper of 2014. This happened in 2014. Migos hadn't been on the scene for long, but that didn't stop Complex from pointing out Quavo as the most influential rapper of the year. While the store admits that Offset is generally seen as the best rapper in the group, Complex argued that Quavo is more influential because of his rhythmic patterns that help popularize a new and distinctive flow in the mainstream. The truth is that since the release of Versace, notable artists such as Drake, Future, and even Kanye West have used the same distinctive rhythmic pattern that characterizes most of Quavo's music. Would they admit it? Number 3. He puts family first. As we said at the beginning, it's no secret that every member of Migos is related in some way. Quavo and Offset are cousins, while Takeoff is Quavo's nephew, and the trio grew up together in Atlanta under the same roof. However, no matter how successful they are, every Migos star will always put the family first. As an example of this, during an interview with the New York Daily News, Quavo revealed that if he ever became president of the United States, he would move his entire family into the White House on the first day, presumably dressed in the Versace outfit. Number 2. He's fond of wild accessories. Migos reportedly carries some surprising accessories with him wherever he goes, including leather backpacks filled with cash. But Quavo in particular keeps some wild items in his luggage. He has a couple of chains featuring 2 of his favorite characters, Remy and Yoda from Star Wars and Ratatouille. And he also has an extra shirt around him in case he gets dirty while eating. Who would have guessed that Quavo could be so practical? We bet that was advice from his mother that he's never forgotten. Number 1. His favorite rapper is Jay-Z. Despite collaborating regularly to produce their own collective sound, each member of Migos prefers a different rapper over the others. While Takeoff is crazy about Kendrick Lamar and Offset is interested in Andre 3000, Quavo told NME that Jay-Z is the best rapper right now. Now that Quavo is forging his solo career, we can certainly notice Jay-Z's influences on his style. Do you notice that too? Tell us if that's the case in the comments below. Also, tell us if you agree with this list or if you have more curious things about Quavo that are not listed here. We hope you enjoyed the video. We post very often, so be sure to click on that bell icon to be notified. And don't forget to leave us a comment and subscribe below.